The fragrance gently unscrews the fruit. The fruit on the tree is large and plump. The soft waxy meat inside has a silky sweet taste. The orange flesh looks mouth-watering. Papaya trees growing on slopes. All of them have borne great fruit. Just twist it lightly to put the fruit in a sack. The amplitude is different. Their tastes are also slightly different, and here's the fun part. White branches and leaves will flow out of the lead-out part. And papaya trees are also used as food in some places. Just worthless. Very few people eat it. A big papaya. It fills the cage so easily. After fixing today's harvest, Qingxiang is also tired. Prepare to cut a papaya and rest while eating. Split in half from the middle. Expose the orange pulp inside. And this variety of papaya has no seeds in it. Peel off the epidermis from the side. The pulp part is really much. It's soft and glutinous in one bite. Although the meat is similar to mango, but the taste is more delicate. After eating, he picked up the cage and walked towards the market. In front of the pork stall, put out today's harvest. Papaya is particularly common in the local area, so not many customers come to buy. It takes a long time for each to come. A few people who are leaving Xinjiang are very good at doing business. Give him a product to show off his products. As the so-called cannibalism is short and soft, it's hard to be dissatisfied after you've carried it. Setting up a stall all morning. There is so much left that has not been sold. Ready to go home. Here comes an ant. I almost ran out of fresh papayas in one fell swoop. If it weren't for the last two customers. I'm afraid I'll have to snack on the furry children at home. Follow the bumpy path back to the farm. Chop down a tree. Plant your own plantain trees below the slope. Getting ready to prepare dinner for the family. The tender green leaves are fed to the little ones. Cakes and stout banana tree spirits chopped with a wood knife. Ready to feed the ducks, chopped into powder half a spoonful of cornmeal. Give them a good supplement of nutrition. It was originally said to be in the market. Sell the eggs. But the number is too small. You can only eat it as dinner. Hot boiled eggs. Serve with 2 different dips. With a glass of wheat juice. Eating is also good. Qingxiang came to the vegetable field at the foot of the mountain again. Caustic soda, withered yellow branches and leaves. It shows that the life of these dishes is coming to an end. High on the food rack. Covered with crispy cucumbers. Xinjiang plucks ripe cucumbers from the vegetable rack. Put it directly into the bamboo basket. Cucumbers are household. Essential vegetables on the table. Whether it's raw or cooking. All good choices. After the bamboo basket is full, he's putting it in the basket. He's got the basket, walking on both sides of the vegetable rack. The machine searches for ripe cucumbers on it. The smaller ones, let them go. Let them grow some more food. As there are fewer and fewer cucumbers on the rack, Qingxiang picked enough cucumbers. Put it all in the back basket. Dissatisfied and willing to come out, after packing, he then recited to me to leave Tai. It's still early today. Green peppers choose to go home first. He also wants to pick the little green child in the yard. Come to the market together and sell it. Although these oranges are small in size, the taste is really pretty good. Your own orange tree costs nothing. So many fruits. He can't finish it alone. Take it to the market and sell it to increase your income. The picked oranges are thrown directly to the ground. After picking all, he came down from the tree. Pack up the scattered oranges together. These fruits fill a large pot. Xinjiang puts oranges in woven bags. Loosen your mouth and put it horizontally on the back basket. Tied to the back today's goods. The product leaves the courtyard, all the way to our way in the market. After entering the market, Xinjiang chooses to insert into the doorway of a supermarket on the island. Pour the oranges into the border and place them out. Then put the cucumbers on the ground one by one. Let the customers choose at will. Fresh cucumbers are quite popular. There are a few beautiful women to choose from just now. So it's not full. After going through several rounds of customers, all the goods are sold. A new day. Xinjiang makes an appointment with a girlfriend. Harvest 2 acres of dry island on the slope together. There were already many people busy in the fields in Xinjiang at that time. Due to its location on a dry slope, can't get in. About this, they can only harvest by pinching their hands. Looks like a freehand choke. In fact, the hands are cheap and the sword is hidden. You can pinch the bone marrow off with a touch. Lilac and her girlfriend talk and laugh, chatting homely, while busy with the work at hand. At the foot of the mountain, there is a little Confucius tied together. After more than 2 busy hours, Xinjiang stopped. Gathered together the ears of grain with their backs on the ground. After it is all packed into the back building and tied firmly. Xinjiang with the general help. A difficult and dangerous past. And I went home. At least the rice is dried on a shelf made in advance. Before leaving school, the rice still needs to be dried. Wait until it is completely dry before shelling. A few days later, the rice is completely dry. A plastic sheet will be fetched, on the balcony below. After laying, and put the tractor borrowed from the pig on it. Then remove all the rice from the shelf. Push it next to the machine for backup. Keep one foot pressing hard on the pedal below. The machine will turn with it. Lilac puts the rice on the rollers of the machine. Under the impact of the continuous rotation of the roller, the rice will peel off the straw. With the help of the machine, about half an hour later, these paddy grains are all out of tenacity. It needs to be reprocessed. Found a remaining layer of straw cleaned up. The grains can then be put into woven bags. Seal the pockets after all are packed. Put the bag in the quilt. Then he put on the basket and set off down the mountain to turn grains into edible rice. It also requires the help of a special track machine. He came all the way to the small workshop of political processing, according to the boss's request. Pour the rice grains into the entrance of the trawler, after being processed by the machine. The grains of rice will continue to flow from below. The shell holder will remove the hard shell on the outside of the inverted stand. However, these handstands still need to be countered, several processing, to completely remove the hard shell, eventually become white rice grains. The machine is still running. Shinxiang put the stolen rice into woven bags. Wait until all processing is completed. Shinxiang paid the money and returned to the farm with rice on his back. With sticks. To dig the tendon of a big BMW out of the ground. Line up in the mountains to pick wild bamboo plums. Get dozens of rotten points together with the wild yam. Xinjiang has once again entered the depths of the mountains, all the way along the rugged mountain road. In fact, it is steep. Emperor Yan is also fearless. He was climbing over a hill. Found today's target not far away. Judging from the branches and leaves above, this is the wild yam Qingxiang is looking for. Down the vine. You can see the scenery of wild yams, buried deep in the ground. It's a little hard to uproot. You need to borrow a wooden stick to assist. Xinxiang, you start by digging up the soil around the yam with a stick. Stay in the block with big, plump root tendons, until the soil below is loose enough. You can uproot a giant wild yam. Xinxiang continues to search along the cliff. Traces of wild yams, and this plant, by virtue of the cliff, spreading its own vines. Vines cling to the cliff. Maximum absorption of sunlight and nutrients. It produces immense fruit. Due to the particularity of the geographical location, it doesn't give. The excavation added another layer of difficulty, with the help of a stick. It's also quite difficult to dig. I mean, literally, it's pressed against the walls. You can only choose to turn the stone above. It can also smoothly dig out the yams below. I have to. Digging for yams is really exhausting. Then put today's harvest into the quilt building. Returning along the way you came. Carrying dozens of caddies of yams. Walking is even more difficult. Just wait very carefully. On the downhill road, Xinxiang also accidentally found a piece of hanging bamboo plum. This pureness is an accidental harvest. He put down the basket. Go pick some. Hanging bamboo plum is not only a decorative flower, it also clears away heat and dampness. The role of cooling blood and detoxification. He plans to pick some. Take it to the market together with the wild yams for sale. This is a huge expanse of plums growing very luxuriously. Xinxiang couldn't help but pick more. After picking, put it all in a woven bag and pack it well. People are kind and cold and continue to set off. Just arrived at the market to set up your goods. It attracts a large number of customers to choose around. Cheap chunks of wild yam. Enough to attract people's attention. Buy at home, whether it's steamed or stewed. All good choices. The hanging coal itself has certain medicinal value. Young people don't know enough. However, the elderly who eat goods generally do not miss it. It only took more than half an hour. The goods in Xinjiang are sold out. I'm so tired today. He didn't stop much longer. After packing up, then he went back to the farm. Fragrance cut the branches of the orange tree with fruit tree shears. Leaves are sparse. The orange-yellow fruit is very easy to distinguish hanging from the branches. The fruit that has turned yellow is sweeter. And dragonflies have more tartness. Make people look. I even swallowed saliva as soon as I heard it. The fruits of two different ripe pears have their own characteristics. Xinxiang will pick some of them. To deal with customers who knock on their mouths, put the picked fairy oranges into the basket. Small and round oranges. It needs to be loosened with a screw basket. At the same time, it is firmly tied with hook rope. Prevent going to the market and subverting it all the way on the way. As the saying goes, going up the mountain is easy, downhill is easier. Carrying a basket weighing dozens of caddies, on the way down the mountain. It's as if someone is pushing the warehouse behind. Let Xinjiang quickly come to the road at the foot of the mountain. Through the crowd on oxygen in the bazaar. In front of a well-known pork belly stall. Stopped. Oranges have good anti-greasy effects, and the pork belly of the fat fish. It just needs to be eaten with this fruit. Xinxiang wants to buy meat from the crowd. By the way, some of my own products will be burned. Take out the oranges in the back basket. Put it on the bag in front of you, on the steel plate. In less than a minute, a huge crowd gathered around. And now is the time for the oranges to ripen. Sweet and sour taste is the favorite flavor of the local beautiful women. In the small talk of customers, the oranges sold out quickly. But the big sister of the meat stall showed a strange look. Today's episode was very lively. Xinjiang. Seedlings of sakya fruit cultivated by farmers were also found. You can tell by the age of the farmers that they are breeding mice. Decisively bought some and rushed home. Follow Shelly 7 centimeters to the top of the mountain farm. Dare not do it. We need to plant the fruit tree seedlings quickly. Dig a few small holes in the slope at the entrance of the small courtyard. Farmhouse fat baby vomited by his own family. The seedlings can be planted and wait for the harvest. And the duck bought a few days ago. Have grown up a lot. Cut the fruit. Peel the peel. Exposing the delicate pulp, and taste a mouthful of soft waxy and sweet. The green back basket plus the cute little flower cat on the chest, still a familiar heart. Come to the orchard. Cut one now. Peel the peel with cracks on the surface. Expose the soft and delicate jelly inside. After tasting it lightly, you will know that today is not in vain. After it was sold out last time, the fruit tree rolls I bought are finally served. The thick excess connected by the tea fruit to the tree. It's easy to cut the fragrance with a little force. I didn't bring his cute little red hollow today, but with hats. It is also easy to store the cut fruit briefly. Shakyamuni fruit, typical tropical fruits. It has a certain cosmetic effect. Bring the picked fruit to the side of the road, accompanied by the parasol of the lady selling dragon fruit next door. Go out to set up a stall. The main thing is white strips. Xinjiang has made money. The stall next to the lady selling dragon fruit. The quality is also very good. It's just that time can't catch up. Xinjiang sold dragon fruit a month ago. There are too many congeneric products in the market now. Competitiveness is relatively low. Xinjiang will sell out soon and return to the farm. Continue departure in the afternoon. Come to the forest. Throw up the knife. Kick the tall copse banana tree. Although they look stocky, but it won't be like or nothing. If you go down with 2 knives, you will lose your waist. Strings of banana fruit are already ripe. I will also bring a few bright banana flowers by the way, to maintain the quality of the fruit. New take new put, it must be done. First use plantain flowers to base the inside of the back building, then put in the fruit. Although the mountain road is not easy to walk, but for Xinjiang, it is flat land. Come to the market. Arrange the items. There are also selling points for brightly colored plantain flowers, but a banana full of black spots, it just seems a bit awkward. Sure enough, all those who come here to buy are the former. After a while, it didn't sell much. Those who grow up in the rice field are pure snails. The body is not only mature, and same as an echo. It's a very delicious appetizer. Just finished harvesting rice now. There are many nutrients in the ground. It provided them with a rich source of food. So that's it. This moment is the most delicious time for snails. Jingxiang cat waste carefully looking in the rice field. Now is the time when supplies are officially abundant. After a while, he picked up a whole big pot. Because it was just pulled out of the mud. I don't want them to get their clothes dirty. I used a fertilizer on purpose. The liner of the bag is filled. Every snail is alive. A total of 3 baskets were collected. Just finished today's task. Just caught snails. Due to mud stains on the body, you can't go to the market to sell directly, but go back to the farm first. Clean it carefully with the luo wand that goes further. Wash the sediment off them. But because of long-term soaking in water, green algae grow on the shells of snails. This can only be cleaned up with a brush. This tedious step is left to the customer to see for himself. Jingsong came to the town with expensive products. Although the snails have not been completely cleaned up, but it has already moved the sediment on its body. This will greatly reduce the pressure field. This simple way of selling, make every customer smile. But you will also meet more serious customers. Pick and choose. No matter who. Jingxiang will face it with the most golden smile. Everyone. Something that has been sold in town for so long. There are also many returning customers. Of course, these guests are all here for the fragrance. Multiple comfortable purchases. Let the seller and the customer communicate, and have completely believed in what Jingxiang sells. Even some customers who are afraid of trouble rarely cook snails. I also want to believe in Jingxiang. To make a purchase, and the clothes on the clearance sale next to it. Business is also good. After selling out the snails, pack up the tools you brought. Fragrance. Happy to return to the farm with today's proceeds. It's wintertime for pumpkins to ripen. Jingxiang plans to pick and sell. At a glance, the pumpkin vines in the vegetable field are rotten and slightly withered. Ripe pumpkins lie on the ground one by one. Fragrance peeled vine rotten. Cut off the ripe pumpkin. Take them off one by one. When this variety of pumpkin is ripe, the outer skin is light pink. The orangutan is going to pick a quilt and sell it in town, since it is a common farm dish. So even if it's all sold out, I can't sell it at a favorite price. Wait until the pumpkin is almost picked. Jingxiang also picked some delicate pumpkin flowers, planning to go home and make homemade food. The pumpkin flowers in this season basically do not bear fruit, so he can pick it recklessly. After picking, the fragrance will put the pumpkins piled on the ground. Put it all in the face. If you can't hold it, put it in a woven bag. After it's all packed, tie it with a rope. Monitor before and after. Instantly subvert the immersive pumpkin wake-up border. Get out of the automatic vegetable field. Easy this time the child came to the old place. Still a kind of pumpkin against the wall. Someone can buy it before it is fully placed. Suffice it to say that cheap vegetables are available in abundance. Pumpkin at the right temperature. It can be kept for a long time without damage. So everyone will buy a few more. Store it at home and eat it slowly. Whether it is cooking or chow chow. It's all good ingredients. Soon as pumpkins were all sold out, Jingxiang immediately packed her things. Leave with the pumpkin flour. Before going home, you have to go to the butcher shop to buy some pork first. Ready to go home and make delicious beef. Return to the farm after purchasing. And I went home. Wash the pork under the water pipe first. Then you cut them up and chop them into mince. 3 points fat and 7 points thin. The fat and thin minced meat is cut without getting greasy. The mince will be ready in 10 minutes. Plus a handful of fresh scallions. At this point, add the secret chili sauce to the pork. The filling is ready. Subsequently, Xinjiang puts the prepared meat filling into the pumpkin flour. Wrap it carefully with petals so it doesn't show. Put the wrap aside. Neatly arranged together. After it's all packed, fragrance, add an appropriate amount of water to the steamer, then put it on the stove for heating. It will take some time for the brood meat to steam. Take advantage of this gap. He comes to the terrace. Water the vegetables on the rack. Of course, you can't forget the comfort of dismantling the bamboo tube at home. Wonderful, all dating back to the kitchen. Urine is also ripe. Lift the lid. A fragrance hit my face. Jingxiang picked them out and put them on a plate. Come to the table. Enjoy a delicious lunch with rice. Refreshing pumpkin flour. With fragrant meat filling. Has Lao Tzu ever eaten like this in the comment area? How did it taste? Walk down the rugged mountain road into the depths of the mountain. He knows that the further he goes, the higher the chance of finding something good. But good things always have to be sought patiently. According to the growth habits of this plant, Xinjiang looks carefully next to a fallen dead tree, fiddling with the dead leaves on the ground. Sure enough, he found traces of the treasure, dead leaves on the ground. Almost drowned them. The whole body of Huicheng grass is red. It's a valuable herb, with nourishing yi and tonifying kidney, strong muscles and bones, the efficacy of heart safety, sad and careful to tilt up the bottom of the spring grass. Prevent damage to his outer skin. After shaking off the soil above, put it in the back basket. Not far away, the team found 2 more. Now they come in all shapes. There are big and small. Jingxiang also carefully dug them up. What these plants love most is wither, tree deciduous gathering place. These places often accompany their tracks. So the fragrance is dedicated to these nooks and crannies. Look everywhere. Tropical jungles are rich in vegetation, a dazzling variety of plants. Even those who are held down by tree trunks will not give up. We're going to have to dig them out. The more you collect, the more money you make by selling at the market. So just thinking about that, I got really motivated. After packing a pair full of waiting, I stopped contentedly. The heavy harvest lines of the cup are sung back. Then walk down the hill along the slope on the dog side, until you come out of this mountain and onto the road. It took a long time to come to the market. All the spring grass is placed on the ground. The colors of the lipstick look great together. People who hadn't seen it before came to watch. What is this? Only customers who understand the goods will buy it. I don't know much. I can only rely on Qingxiang's introduction to barely sell an order. It is different from selling vegetables and fruits as usual. Usually the woman who runs the house buys it. Huicheng grass is more popular with male customers. The Huicheng grass in Xinjiang was sold out 2 hours later. After packing, wearing today's good returns to the farm.